Say hello to the new 2025 Nissan Murano, which has been thoroughly refreshed. It's wider than before, new exterior styling, new interior technology and luxury. It feels nice and premium. In terms of the powertrain, we have a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that makes 241 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. That is an increase of 20 pound-feet of torque compared to the outgoing generation Murano. It's front-wheel drive as base, but you can option the SV trim to all-wheel drive. The SL and Platinum trims come with all-wheel drive as standard and has a 9-speed automatic transmission.
Good morning, Giovanni Aroba, Senior Design Director for Nissan brand, and worked on the Nissan Murano, the next generations. Obviously the nameplate, the Murano nameplate is quite a legacy for us at Nissan. And as we reimagine it for the next generation, the car has grown up. It's 3 inches wider than the current one. It's almost 2 meters wide. And, you know, our target customer, this is post-family. So it's not about the daily, soccer, dropping off the kids. But at the same time, that customer wants to keep some of the functionality of a big SUV. But how do we bring the car and feel more premium and sophisticated, a punch above its segment? So we wanted to give the car this sense of formal modernity, or energetic elegance, we say. And as you see on the front of the car, there's also technology and efficiency in the way it slices through the air. So we did pay a lot of attention to the aerodynamics. So it is a big SUV, but as you can see, it's not the boxy, rugged type. We wanted to make this elegant, sleek, sexy, and seamless. So as you can see from the front of the grille, we no longer have, let's say, the traditional heavy chrome details of the V-Motion. We wanted to bring in illumination. To us, lighting is kind of the new chrome, and showing the DTRL elegantly weaved into the grille really showcases this powerful width of the car. As you can see, the front edge of the car actually quite low. This front edge that cuts through the wind is quite low to get the air to sleekly attach across the car. But we wanted to give the car this sense of high gravity. So we have this almost lighting mask, full width across the top, nicely weaved between the body color. And then this draws your eye into the body side. So we have a very graceful, horizontal, slightly diving line across the body, aimed toward these very powerful sculpted rear fenders. And we really enjoyed sculpting this in the studio. This is kind of the rear fender you'd like to enjoy waxing on the weekend. But the car has like I said, this sense of timeless futurism, quite elegant, and a lot of muscularity. Obviously, we wanted to have this confidence and power on the road. As you can see, we have 21-inch wheels now, 1 inch up from what we had before. Machine painted, but we also have the aero-clad, so this also gives us extra level of detail, but also makes it more efficient as it cuts through the wind. This car is not a two-tone, but as you can see, the car is tailored with this beautiful long, arching DLO sash line. The car's tailored, so the premium, actually you can get two-tone on all grades. This is not two-tone, but the way we tailored the body panels and the parting lines were all carefully thought of for that two-tone expression. So gone is a lot of the complicated, let's say, floating roof that we used to have, and now we have this much more sleek slipstream silhouette for the car. However, we're not, cutting any headroom off or any functionality from the rear. I think when you come to the rear, you can really see the clean, sleek, let's say seamless modernity we wanted to capture as well. Full width light bar. We've hidden and concealed the wiper blade. It's under here. Oh, wow. And also we've moved the license plate down low into the bumper area. A much cleaner and wide premium rear end. And then of course when we come to the interior is where you really get this, I think it punches one class above. We wanted to have the sophistication, almost spa-like experience when you enter the car. You can notice some of the details that we tailored on Aria have made their way into the Murano. We have the haptic HVAC switches integrated into this full width grained finisher. So it's a bit of warm tech. You know, we have a lot of functionality in these horizontal screen displays now, but you still have some of the tactile touch that you can have at an instant. But we wanted to make sure you don't have a lot of the fingerprint elements in this type of finisher. You know, this finisher here, almost inspired by the Murano glass, which takes its namesake, but there's a slight color shift and there's a slight sheen to it. So when the illumination, which we have multiple color illumination choices, will glow across this finisher in the evening. But as you can see, the horizontal displays are not just plopped on the IP. You know, we have a stitched and wrapped meter cover, and everywhere horizontally, almost this landscape of soft touch all the way around you to give you that elevated premium crossover experience. You know, in Japanese we say omotenashi, this kind of tailored, how we treat the customer, how we treat the people. We wanted to have that kind of feeling when you step into the car, almost a spa-like retreat for the customer or for the experience. So, you know, the formality of where you put your smartphone, getting rid of the mechanical shifter and bringing in the touch buttons allows us to free up some of this real estate. So you can put your phone here, or you have a little extra pocket here, but also brings this open wide experience to the car. Little extra storage under the floating console. Actually, this kind of color transition is aesthetic, but it's also actually quite functional. So when you're sitting in the car, there's a certain color. There's a lightness, brightness number that reflects into the side glass. So as it gets a little bit darker, there's less reflectivity into the side glass. So that's also part of the ergonomic, let's say, omotenashi, that we wanted to remove any glare from the customer. So everything, like even this amount of color on the IP, you know, it's delicately balanced so that you don't have any annoying reflections on the glass. You know, sometimes as designers we want to, you know, just throw in color everywhere, but as soon as you get it into the real life experience, let's say 12 noon, or, you know, we actually have a lighting chamber in the engineering facility that we test every single time of day. And so we bring in our color and trim variations, and we bring in the design, and we check to make sure actually there's no any kind of annoying glare to the windshield or the side glass. So what you see here took actually a lot of, you know, back and forth with the R&D and with the design team to tailor this in the way it is. So some of that stuff sometimes doesn't get said, but you know, there was a lot of work that went into that.
So Gio, I have one very, very important question. Will there be another Murano Cross Cabriolet?
No.
No, not even no comment, just denial.
No.
All right, now let's get up close with the 4th generation Nissan Murano. So thoroughly refreshed styling. You still have that V-motion front grille, but it's a little less aggressive than before. They integrated the DRLs here into the grille, so they kind of blend in with the lighting elements here and those grille slats. You have the updated Nissan logo in the middle, and then above this body color piece, you have this gloss black piece of trim with the Murano logo stamped into it in between the headlights. That always stays gloss black regardless of the color combination. And this is gonna sound a little bit crazy, but this design element here with the gloss black piece in between these thin kind of angular headlights reminds me of the Ferrari 12 Cilindri. The new V12 Ferrari has a very similar treatment, but obviously completely different class vehicles. They call these the Crystal Cube LED headlights, so these individual little cubes of lighting. And then the new Murano is quite a bit wider than the previous one. So you see these curves across the fenders, this like cutout line here emphasizing it. And then we have this other body line that comes along the side all the way back to these pretty aggressive hips. They're flared out here. Same thing in the rear wheel arches too. The sun is popping out. So this light champagne-y gold paint, it's got a lot of metallic flake to it. And then we heard about the roof line here. This is a very interesting line because it starts here, this chrome trim around the window, and it angles down here, and it comes this way. It kind of reminds me of a fish, actually. See, like the body of a fish, and then that would be the tail back here. You can do two-tone paint finishes too, and then we have the full width LED tail light. Again, with the logo there in the middle, that opens the trunk. And then there's a handful of other changes back here. So we have the Murano lettering across the back of the tailgate. This one here is the platinum trim. I do like the font treatment. It's pretty cool with a little cutout there on the R and on the P. And then we have the gloss black lower. The license plate has been moved. The exhaust tips are completely hidden underneath the rear bumper. And they completely hid the rear windshield wiper too. It's back up here. I can feel it. It is actually back there. It looks pretty premium. A lot of curves to it too. This is a very interesting line here, curving around the DRLs down the front bumper. So this gradient is really cool. We're hearing about it from Gio. It's inspired by Murano Venetian glass. That's something I learned recently, that the Nissan Murano name comes from Murano Venetian glass, and that's what this dashboard element was inspired by. So that color gradient trim goes from the door panels across the dash here. We have that wood grain looking trim similar to the Aria. And when the car is on, you see the climate controls here are lit up. You can feel a little bit of vibration when you press them. They're capacitive touch. And when you turn the vehicle off, they would just disappear. Your start and your stop button is right here. We have the Murano lettering there. And we have dual 12.3-inch screens. Your infotainment screen here and your full digital cluster. This has built-in Google. It's got wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And for the Platinum, you get a heads-up display there in the middle. There are 64 different interior ambient lighting color options, so that would be really cool at night to see all the different ambient lighting options. But this is pretty familiar if you've been in a newer Nissan vehicle for the infotainment screen. I really like this gradient. It's pretty cool. It's relatively subtle actually. When I first looked into the vehicle, I wasn't sure that it was a gradient. I thought it was just blue and that was lighting, but it is very, very unique. So the Platinum trim now also comes with not just heated seats, but they're ventilated and massage in the front. So we have massaging front seats. The control is right there. You also have the Nissan Zero Gravity seats, which help reduce the pressure points, right? They're designed like NASA inspired to emulate being in zero gravity outer space. They're also available in the second row now. We've got the panoramic roof. You see the privacy shades in the second row, and there's a little bit more knee room for the second row passengers. We also have the 360 view cameras along with the 3D rendering of the vehicle. You can change the angle that it's showing. And we also have transparent hood view, so you can see through if you need to position the vehicle through a drive-through or maybe a car wash or something. So that is new here. You also have Nissan Safety Shield 360 as standard, and you have Pro Pilot available, so that's the driver assistance systems. They also went to frequency sensitive dampers for the suspension, along with electric power steering, and you can tow 1,500 pounds with the Nissan Murano. I'm gonna hop in and try out the second row legroom here. At 6'3", I've got good headroom, even with the panoramic roof up there, and pretty decent legroom and knee room back here. So they added 0.8 inches of knee room. You have that same really nice leather and the Nissan Zero Gravity seats back here. And we have the privacy shades now too. So the new 2025 Murano is going to be reaching dealerships early next year with pricing announced closer to the on-sale date. What do you guys think of the updated new Nissan Murano? Personally, I think the interior is my favorite part of the refresh. The materials, it feels very open and spacious. A lot of nice new technology. But what do you guys think of the 2025 Nissan Murano? Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.